Yo, 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 yo. We're back. We're back. We're back. And just to say one more time, we are back.
Guess who's
Episode
back?
number 2. We're doing
Nombre
it again.
dos, baby,
We're
we's back.
again. I don't know if they're ready. They want us, but we came back. No, I'm just kidding.
It's
But
by
listen,
popular demand, from what I've been hearing.
right? So before I even begin, I just want to say shout out to and thank you to everyone that's been showing love, comments, the likes, the views, the subscriptions, anyone that's been sharing on social media,
Appreciate
sending any DMs. Yeah, thank you guys so much. When we started off this thing, the idea was to literally kind of give a voice to designers, especially in our space. Young and up and coming, from students to juniors to aspiring to full game designers, and to really speak from that perspective. Because I think a lot of times, a lot of our entertainment reviews, a lot of our game reviews come from fans, and they may not be privy to certain types of information that allow us, as people on the inside or having inside information, to kind of give a much deeper dive into these subjects. So thank you guys for paying attention and for even watching. And if this is your first time joining us, this is the Players First podcast, and I am your host, Azebo, here with my bro Kasuna. Doing what we do. We do this regardless. We just enjoy doing it in front of you guys because you guys enjoy watching us do it. So before we even get down to, because I personally think, bro, we have a nice, an incredible episode here today.
It's gonna be a hot one. Spicy takes are coming out heavy today.
Yeah, could be pretty controversial. I think a lot of people will agree, especially the consumers and designers like ourselves, because a lot of times some of the decisions are forced down from people above, right? Executives.
Oh, did you see that?
What?
Did you see the smoke coming? Because we've been calling it right now. This is gonna be a controversial episode because we calling out the smoke. Oh, we want the smoke today.
He called me too. Hey, when we start getting advertising, man, you're definitely gonna be the one, because he could be happy. Like, what? I didn't see anything. No, but it's absolutely. And this is what we do. So please like, share, subscribe, join the notification squad, click the bell to make sure you get the first of everything that we do, so you guys know what's going on here.
So we gonna be making it, so you gotta watch it. So hit.
Get up. So
go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Go ahead, hit it. It makes you feel good. Trust me.
It does. Tonight, what we're gonna be talking about, pretty much current game design trends. Maybe like some forgotten design practices or things that we'd like to see utilized more in design. Mm-hmm. The most UX adverse design trend and the most UX positive design trend. In a way of just kind of putting forth the current state of games and design, and kind of exploring it, and seeing if there are some things that have become overused and unnecessary at this point,
are just outright problematic. Like some things just shouldn't exist anymore, or have ever should in the beginning.
Yeah. I 100% agree with that. And before we even get into that, what's been up, man? How you been?
Bro, nothing but the work. Just been knocking out a bunch of hours at work, getting things together, getting life going, because life don't stop. No matter how much we want it to, it don't stop. But a day gaming is a good day indeed, so I ain't mad about it. So got me a day off, so got me some gaming done, got worked on some personal stuff, and now we doing the pod. So good day for me. Definitely a good day for me. How about you? How was
always a good day when we do the pod? Always, right? always.
Even though the man's trying to stop us.
Man. Yeah, but since Same. Family stuff and just life, man. But we get to do this, and I get excited every time we step forward to do this thing because it's so much fun, So
Oh yeah.
to get to the spicy stuff, let's kind of get into it. Over the past decade or so, maybe even longer than that, video games have kind of become stagnant. I feel like there are just some things that are being done that are just having bad effects on the consumer in general and the player. I think that at the end of the day, some of the choices being made maybe forced from corporate, but are really choices that are not helpful. I don't think. I think they're kind of drying and boring the community. Like they're trying to the community and they're boring them. And this is some stuff that I think we need to stop seeing. And to kind of pass it off to you to just kind of start us off here tonight. What along that train of thought, are there design choices that you've been seeing lately that you just feel like we need to stop seeing?
Okay. So I'm coming for the throat immediately. My first thing I'm going for is since I'm going for the neck, let's start off with chopping a full game up and then selling the end pieces DLC. I hate that. I hate that more than
Treacherous.
I hate it so much. Like if you make a full game and then I get to an ending of a game and it feels off, but the only way to get that proper ending is I gotta buy DLC to get it. You don't do that. Don't even the fact that you even considered it is already problematic. Haven't seen it as much lately, but the fact that it even exists and possibly could happen, I hate that. I hate it so much. That's a design choice that is just completely unnecessary. If I'm gonna drop $60 towards you, I need my game, all of it.
Agreed. I work hard for my money. Do you
Yeah.
understand me? I work very hard.
And if
So
I'm giving you that, give me what's mine. I don't get it.
Yeah. Don't take from me. And full disclaimer before we kind of dive deeper into this. Fully aware that this is not specifically a design choice. I think this is definitely more of a choice that comes from the top down. This is definitely an executive decision made by the powers that be in order to try to maximize the potential profit of whatever project that they're working on. But yet still the same.
That being
100%.
said, let me not do it. Let me calm down. Give me my goddamn game and don't play with me. It's been a long week. I'm trying to get this game in. Don't do that.
Right.
Look at me.
Right.
Don't do that.
If I take my hard-earned dollars and I come to whatever platform that I'm using to purchase my games, whether that be a Steam, whether that be Xbox Game Store, whether that's going all the way to Best Buy my damn self, right? No matter what, don't take my money that I work for and give me less than I'm paying you, right? Because the value 100%. Of the dollar to me, the value of my dollar to me is the sweat that I put behind earning it.
Exactly.
And not, so yeah.
Oh, don't chop up the game. Just give me the game. If you want to add DLC, I'm all for DLC. I love DLC. Yeah. But make sure the DLC
when done right.
Yeah, when done right, it's great.
Yeah.
The DLC has to be extra, not a part of the original game that got cut out. If it got cut out, I'm sorry, put that back in a patch somehow. I don't care. Don't make me pay extra for it, because if it was supposed to be in the full game, put it in the full game. If it didn't make it into the full game, I'm sorry. Don't want to buy it as DLC. It just feels wrong if I have to, because it feels like I'm missing a part of the game. But another trend that is bugging me is DLC for a price that doesn't match the DLC. Like if you buy like a season pass or something and it doesn't, say you drop like $20-$30 for a season pass and all it does is give you cosmetics, I wasted
Apex money. Absolutely
wasted money. Like don't do that. That's just a horrible concept, because it's like you're promising more and I'm only getting this. And
stop trying to rob me.
Right.
Stop trying to rob me.
That's all I'm asking. If you make
give me good product and I'll pay the money. Stop trying to
give it to you willingly. Willingly, I will give you this money.
Stop.
Because the only reason this is a problem for me is because the first season pass I ever bought was for Borderlands 2, and I bought it by accident. Didn't even notice I bought it. And it was such a good standard, because I was getting a bunch of skins. It was great, but I was also getting all the characters on release, so I didn't have to buy these characters. I didn't have to like do anything else. They were readily available to me, and I was getting all these DLCs and other stuff, so it was worth the money. But then I play another game, same thing, bought the season pass. Season pass didn't deliver until like 3 months later, and it was
Right.
nothing but skins. And after a while, I was
Right.
getting skins in the game was technically dead. For skins that aren't even top tier. Like you even put that behind a different paywall. So it was like, what was the point of buying this season pass? It was useless,
To take my money. Stop taking my money and giving me nothing.
right? You might have a buttload of it, but I don't. You're robbing me, and it's making me hard to spend money on developers I want to support. But that's why
Right.
I give shout outs to FromSoft and the way they do their
Mm.
like season pass and DLC. Because if you're getting the DLC for a Dark Souls game, you got a full Dark Souls game. Plus that DLC is going to be more of it. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, the main game, the original story, set, done, ready. There was never anything else. We just wanted to add more to the game, and that's this. And it's always
Yeah.
reasonably priced for me, so I'm always down to support that. Love that. But that's me. What about you? What you got? What's a trend you're not really feeling?
Before I even jump to that, just to add,
Mhm.
Rockstar does the same thing with Grand Theft Auto 4, and then they had
Oh
the
yeah,
Ballad of Gay Tony. So it's like this can be done. We've seen it done before. So
yeah,
like let's not act like this is some crazy thing that we're asking for. Like just
right.
give us a full game. We pay the 60, and then give us DLC. That's something else. Like
Yeah,
that's
I'm
it's
looking for
really
pure
adding.
quality.
Yeah, that's adding to the story and not just creating. Uh, um a game that's half finished and then giving me DLC that is just
Meh.
what should have already been in the game,
Right?
or giving me a game with a season pass. Then the season pass is just skins that
Don't.
that are the worst skins in the game. They're
Right?
the worst skins. They're
Like,
the worst skins.
oh, he's got black shorts now. What the heck? I needed black shorts for. That should have been signed up.
Right,
That's a pickup. Like that's not worth
right.
money. But
Adding to that is just the idea of these microtransactions and these gambling mechanics that are
mm,
literally like embedded in the game. And before we even get into the mechanic breakdown, I just literally want to say like this has become a really disgusting practice. I think like
ugh, gambling in the game
it's
before it's even a game.
yeah, it's really predatory. Like you're preying on people's
It's not
like
really It is
addictions.
predatory. That is predatory behavior.
Like
Like,
gambling is classified as an addiction, and you're taking this addictive game type, this addictive game mechanic, and you're sneaking it in. Like you're not even placing it in and boldly saying that we're having you gamble. You're sneaking it in to people who have probably went to different meetings, have probably sought therapy, to get over certain types of addictions, right? Like, and
and
what's the difference between this and selling drugs, like selling
I
actual
can tell you the
drugs?
difference. And the difference is the drug dealer isn't doing anything that the other person doesn't want. Like
Mm,
if the drug addict is coming to you because they want that drug, you're providing a service. There is no
mm,
service being provided making me pay for extra shit that I never wanted in the first place.
mm,
If I come to
mm.
video games to escape the real world, to be find a moment where I could just be happy, why are you putting this in front of me? Why are you doing this? This is messed up. And yes, game industry, I am calling you worse on a moral standard, worse than a drug dealer, because at least the drug dealer has a necessary reason to be there. Don't do better.
Right?
Just do better.
He
Do
he's
better.
telling the person what he's selling, and the person's coming to get just that. You're not telling us what you're selling. You're giving us paywalls. You're setting up these pay to win situations. Blizzard, this Diablo Immortal
Ugh,
thing that is like just the evolved form of the pay to win paywall that's been set up in just mobile gaming in general.
mobile game.
It's
Ugh.
sick.
It's such a
It's sick.
horrible. Bro, if I have
It's
to
sick.
drop a minimum of a house payment, 50K, to have a playable character, you don't feel no shame? You don't feel bad? You just saw
It's
that
sick.
bag and was like, yeah, that's good. People lost
It's sick.
50K to play your game. And
It's sick.
and here's the worst part. If at any point they ever stopped supporting the game, that means that 50K went to nowhere. They spent
Right.
$1,000 on something that
Right.
will never benefit them later.
Very good point.
That's
Right.
so messed up.
Right.
Like, I don't mind supporting an industry, a developer, a studio that I know for a fact could use the money and gave me something good and gave me something I enjoyed for it. Even if the game eventually is like, oh, I threw $10 at this game It was good for like a year or two. It no longer is being supported. All right, fine. I lost the $10. Not the biggest loss. But if I threw $50,000, you could never close that game. Ever. Even if I'm never gonna play it again, if there is a chance on my deathbed that I want to check on that character, that server better be up. I do not care. Because I dropped $50,000. You owe me for the rest of my life.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Because you're preying on human psychology, right? You're giving someone a game, you're letting them play it for however many hours, they're investing their time, they're becoming attached to it, and then when they reach like level 35, you go, oh, you want to keep playing? Give me some money.
Okay, Pusher Man, I hear you. I hear you. First taste was free. Okay.
What it feels like, oh, you want to level up? Okay, well, listen, you could put in 10,000 hours here, or just give me $5. You know,
bruh, that's another thing I hate so much. Microtransaction to speed up a process. Don't do that. That's so that's so blatant. It's disrespectfully blatant. Oh,
it's even worse when you're gambling and you're spending money to get crests, Diablo Immortal, and then you might not even get what you need because you don't get the legendary gem you need. This is ridiculous. You're still gambling. It's slot machine.
You know what? I don't know how I feel about it. If they were just out public being like, hey, we just want to rob you for your money. I just want to do that anyways. I think I would support them a little more because at least they could pretend they wouldn't even
pull
have
out the gun.
Yeah, just
pull out the gun.
Just be like, yeah,
come to the ATM and ask me for my money. I think that's more respectable.
Stop forcing me in a position where I have to.
Yeah.
And you can say you're not forcing me, but you're forcing someone. Because some people don't have restraint. Some people don't have the ability. Some people struggle for real. And you're counting on them to fall into the trap.
It's sick.
Don't build your monetization system before you build the game. Build your game.
And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. How can I make the money? Then I wrap it back around, and then it's a game. Or let's go the Battlefront 2 way, right? We have a game. How do we monetize everything now? And look how they had to revamp their entire game. EA, I just want to salute EA really quickly. EA takes a lot of flack, and I can give a lot of flack to EA. But to go back through that game and revamp it, and to make it fair again, I mean, you got to give your flowers where you can give them.
That's true. I hate that it took them destroying the community first before they fixed it, because I love Battlefront 2. I do. And if you played it right now, it's so fun. But it takes forever to get into a game because they burned that bridge. They scorched that bridge before anyone else could honestly play it. And now the game is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'll give EA props, but at the same time, EA, don't be burning any more bridges.
Yeah, like come on, man. And they took it to a crazy level, right? Like certain characters you couldn't even get the guns, and it's like, come on, stop forcing me. And I guess shout out to your FromSoft and your Dark Souls, because as much as I don't like those games as a player, I respect it as a designer. Stop trying to create cheap ways for people to level up in your games, and just let people use their skills to gain experience points, like has always been the case, and allow them to level up that way, and give them the content in a way that makes sense. All right,
like
let's go back to systems design and doing the right formulas to make sure that experience levels are calculated properly, and that people have different resources and things that they receive based on it. If you need a machination or something, let's stop this. Let's stop it.
Once you make it, once you start realizing you could put paywalls before every single bit of production, like progression, you're willingly doing something you shouldn't do.
Oh, but we could talk about people who are open with what they're doing. Rockstar, to wrap up this gambling mechanics. As far as on my end, I don't know if you had anything else to add, but I mean, like, you guys have actual casinos in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yo, that's a good point.
Yo,
you have like, a real life casino.
like it doesn't get more blatant. Like you're taking my money from these shark cards, right? That people are gonna use to get the money in the game. But then you literally make me gamble that. Like this is wow.
Yo, that caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot about that. I jumped.
Am I in Vegas? Because in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. don't you go? You go to the casino, right? You give them money,
Whoa,
and they
whoa, whoa,
cash
whoa,
you
whoa.
out chips.
Well, it's different though. I own the casino I'm going broke at. I own it in this game.
Okay, so like your little NFT, your little meta casino you go to that loses you money. It's ridiculous, bro. It's utterly and completely ridiculous.
Bruh. Yeah,
This cannot be allowed to go on. Before we eat and I'm not saying that we're wrapping up this segment, but I will say that before we move on from here, that I would like to go on record to state that something honestly needs to be done about this. This is really you have
I
an
think the whole
actual
community agrees on that. I don't think anybody's gonna fight you on that one because
sick.
really,
It's sick.
I haven't met a single person who was like, "Yeah, I dropped all this money in this game, and I'm proud that I had to get a second mortgage to get a Diablo Immortal character. I'm proud that I spent all
I sold my Mercedes Benz
to
to
put the
get
Mercedes Benz version on GTA because it looks just as good." Oh, the game,
and they're taking real money and then asking you to use game money to gamble, bro. You're cashing in for chips, man. They're
bruh.
giving you poker chips.
I
You're
guess
getting chips, casino chips.
my biggest problem is money over games is my issue. Because there was a
Mhm.
time where if you were playing a video game, you were playing a video game. That was all it was a video game. And it was pure. It was good. It was enjoyable.
Right,
There was no
right,
extras. There was no bullshit. It was just a video game. And then at some
right.
point, somebody, Bethesda, introduced the concept of horse armor. And then all of a
Right.
sudden, that floodgate blew open. Now, DLC this, season pass this, battle pass that, money in every instance. You can pay $60 for a whole game and know for a fact in the future, you're going to spend more money on the game you already paid. It feels weird. Like there's some
Oh
games and
my
some
god.
systems that I do like. I can't deny that I do like. But at what cost am I willing to keep playing that?
Moving on. For me, crafting. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god. It's like every game that comes out now, they just have to shove some type of crafting mechanic in. I don't
Okay.
always need to craft. I don't. I do not.
Okay.
It's like when we were talking about. Hold on, I'm gonna let you. But it was like when we were talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. It would be weird if you really got sick as Arthur, you really had the tuberculosis, and you really like had to really deal with that outside of the cutscenes. And when you're in your open free roam, you have to, you know, you would feel weird. I'm not autonomous. I'm not having the experience that I want with this cowboy. It's the same thing. Stop making me have to go collect things to then put them together with other things to make other things. It's busy work for no reason. I don't need it in every game. There are some games where it makes sense. There are some games where it makes sense. Resident Evil, that makes sense. World of Warcraft, that makes sense. Minecraft, that makes sense.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you. You're passionate about it, so I feel bad saying this. I love crafting systems. I love them so much. I love.
Why would I
crafting
need to craft it in okay, and you don't craft, but I'm just giving you an example. Why would I ever need to craft in, let's say, Prince of Persia? Give me a reason to add crafting to a Prince of Persia.
Okay. Fair. Not really a game where
Without
you need to do it.
but that game is still fun, yes?
It's still fun.
And there's no craft. So I'm not saying don't craft at all. I'm saying stop trying to make. I played Apex the other day. They have crafting in Apex. Bro, I'm in a battle royale trying to finish people off. I don't have time to be crafting backpacks.
I didn't
I
know
don't
they
have
added
time to
crafting
be-
into that. That's all
What am I crafting for?
right.
What is the
Fair.
point?
There's some games that don't need crafting. I'll give you that much. That cramming crafting into every game would be stupid. Like, I'm not gonna lie, hitting me with that Prince of Persia line, that really, I'm still kind of struggling trying to come up with an answer because
Come
Prince of
on,
Persia's
but
kinda
they'll
stupid.
think about it.
That's a
Man, they'll do it. Kasuna, they will do it. They'll remake Prince of Persia, and all of a sudden now you have to go collect pieces of sand to put with the stone to make a new dagger every time you level up past level 9 because now your level 5 dagger is no longer good. It's like stop. Just stop.
okay. I guess crafting has its own place. I can't even bat at you yet. I'm still trying to figure out a crafting system for Prince of Persia that would work, but there really is none. But You would have to create a
You
whole
have
new
to-
game with the
Oh
name
my
title Prince of
god.
Persia, which would be a
Yeah.
problem because at that point
Prince
you
of
ran away from the game.
Crafting. Come on.
Okay, I'll give it to you. That one's different. That one caught me off guard. I was going off of
Come
like
on.
predatory stuff that money over games, but you literally put out a whole system out of nowhere. But that's a good
Yo,
one.
it's getting ridiculous. It's honestly getting ridiculous. And we spoke about this in the last episode where I believe the question, to paraphrase, was something along the lines of, do you feel like games are no longer fun? Something along the lines of like prioritizing, I guess, money over the fun or something like that. Or if you and I pretty much was saying that there are like 5 or to 50 game mechanics that they put in this little like simple array.
He said
And they just
array,
do like
like people out here be coding all the time. Like, oh yeah, I get what the array is. I'll have an array of mechanics I could
Right.
use for.
Right, but they do, and then they make like some type of like for each loop, or like do while do this mechanic while while, while revenue equals like greater than.
Oh yeah, equals plus plus this to make sure if and that. Make sure this mechanic, if this mechanic is running, play this mechanic also. Oh man, I hate how much
Yo,
I actually enjoy coding, to be honest.
it's so crazy, man. It's like come on, stop. Let's really stop. Like let's really start going back to the idea of making each game its own thing and not having to shove different mechanics into things that shouldn't be there just because we're trying to grab kids, or if it's like we want to grab RPG players, like just stop, just make your game and keep it moving. Like we need new ideas. So just, do you understand me? Stop taking things and just and I'll preface by saying, yes, there's nothing new under the sun. You take what's old and you bring it together. There are only 10 numbers between 0 and 9. And every other number is a combination of those numbers. And yes, there's only a certain amount of notes. And I understand all of that. What I'm saying is, when we put things together, though, it has to make sense. Right? It has to make sense. And personally, I feel like crafting has become the salt and pepper of the game industry. And it's like no meal is completely seasoned without this. And I'm like, hey, I'm getting high blood pressure. Like
Yo, you oversalted the hell out of this game.
I was just saying, use another seasoning. Okay? Why are we always trying to take the same ingredient and force it into every recipe?
I hate to say it, but you've converted me onto your side. I think I really like crafting mechanics, but it's really not needed everywhere.
I'm just saying. And at this point, bro, I wouldn't even describe crafting as salt and pepper, I would describe it as ginger. You know what I mean? Because it's not meant for every single meal, and too much is overbearing. Stop forcing this into every game. We don't need it. My next thing, it is perfect because it goes right into it, is remakes. Oh my God.
It's about to get combative in here because I love remakes.
Somehow we have become infatuated, and we can definitely do this, bro, because I'm here for it today with these remakes. Somehow we have gotten to a point where we are just recycling.
Yeah. And we're recycling some of our good stuff. I love it.
Bro.
Yo, Resident Evil hasn't hit this good in so long. Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, Resident Evil 4, unnecessary remake, but still, I'll see how it comes out. Yo, these remakes are fire.
That's one franchise.
Okay.
And
Final Fantasy 7 remake. Okay, that's a weird remake because it's not exactly Final Fantasy 7, but
I knew you was gonna go there.
Yeah, and it was fantastic.
Have your Final Fantasy 7. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas remake was garbage.
I think it was only garbage because they dropped the bat. They didn't remake the game. They just added a texture. They tried to add a texture pack to it. They messed it up.
3 remake basura. Okay? It was trash.
They messed up the drop. I give them that much.
It was trash.
Okay, fair. But
Go ahead.
But
Go ahead. I'm here for it.
I
This is my favorite one. The favorite topic right here. Let's go.
I
Let's get
like
it.
certain games and I want to see them in a better light in the future. Like I'm never gonna be against a remake of a game I enjoyed back in the past. Like Dragons of Laguna. They need to make that game. They need to remake that game and put it out in today's because it would be a fantastic game. The first game that taught me to ever button mash. They
That's
remake games all the
okay.
time, and those games are fantastic.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
to be honest, game preservation isn't as good as it could be. So sometimes a remake would be nice. I'm just saying.
This is my thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to come back to the point of specific remakes because there is something to be said about the fact that I don't think they're remaking games that should be remade. Right. And I think we should touch on that too, because you make a very valid point there. But this is what I'll say. I feel like remakes are a lazy way to escape having to make new IPs. Okay. Like these games were amazing, but we still deserve new experiences. We are worth the time it takes to flesh out a brand new idea and design the mechanics needed to make us feel.
Okay.
Stop the bullshit.
Question.
You're copping out. You're copping a plea. You're saying this game was already. All I got to do is bring it back and it's going to be good. And you know what? It probably will be. Because, like you just said, we've never seen it in this quality before. We've never seen it at this level before. We've never seen it at this point before. Great. Awesome. You want to bring it back? I can dig that. But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these games were great because it was our first experience with them.
Ooh.
Because we didn't know what to expect going in. It was met with a pleasant surprise. Not because they were a blatant copy of something, even if we were already familiar with some of the game's mechanics. So here's my point. Stop using remakes as a way to quickly grab money from us. And I think this has been the tone of our entire podcast today. Just quick cash grab nonsense that's going on in the industry right now that is 100% affecting design choices, as we've been able to outline here today. And just the consumer and their experience, right? Stop trying to grab money from me by just quickly putting out nostalgia. Like you're using my nostalgia against me.
That is fair. That is fair.
I want to see Jet Set Radio Future Remastered. It's one of the most amazing games I ever played as a kid playing Xbox, right? But does that mean like if there's a way to make something better than that I would rather it not be remade first? Put that on the back burner. Put that on the back burner. But this is starting to become like the front thing to do. Like they're making a Dead Space remake, right? Touching on what I said earlier. We don't need it.
Yeah, that game still hits today, so that doesn't need it.
I just played it the other maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah,
it's still good.
I agree with you.
We don't need a Dead Space remake. We really don't.
Okay, let me ask you a question then, just so I can get a bit of clarification. How many years need to go by for a game to justify getting a remake?
Ooh, I'll do you one better. What justifies a game getting a remake?
Ooh, okay. I think a game should need a remake if the technology is far beyond. Let me rephrase that. If it's an inconvenience to continue to play the game with the current technology, then it should get a remake because you can technically play Soul Reaver and the Legend of Kain games right now, but the control scheme is horrible. Like it's hard to play that game.
You lay tours.
Yeah, try playing it on an emulator. It does not work the same. The way
even with your keyboard,
it does not play well. It really doesn't play well. Because you're talking about a game that doesn't know what analog sticks used to be. So it doesn't know, it can't.
So then this brings up a sub question in that sequence of questions, which is there a difference between remakes and remasters?
Oh, huge difference. Oh, then at that point, ooh. So in your idea, the definition of a remake is like they just remade the game, they updated the graphics, updated the way to play it, and a remaster would be like they changed the game in a way, like it's not the same game. Like how would you define a remaster and a remake?
Probably the other way, right? So for me, a remaster is literally just a graphic overhaul. I think Grand Theft Auto, how I mentioned it, probably falls closer to a remaster than a remake.
Okay.
But they did some remakes because they updated the shooting system. They updated some of the driving and the collision stuff. So it's like technically it's a remake, but what they did was so limited, it would probably qualify closer to a remaster.
Okay. So pretty much.
So
it's
I
just
think a
polishing
remake
it
is
up.
whenever they add, yeah, a remake is whenever they add stuff also with the polish to like make it newer. Like Resident Evil 4 is a remake for sure. Like the controls are much smoother. Like you can change camera angles. Like different things you could not do in the previous game, you could do in this game.
It revolutionized the
Um,
whole, revolutionized gaming for a while. That's a
you know what I'm
powerful.
saying?
Actually, I take it back. I don't want them to mess with Resident Evil 4. I don't think it needs a remake or remaster or anything. The game still functions as the game it is today. That should be archived as
This
a genre changer,
is
right?
all I'm saying. A lot of times they make these remakes. I give you another remake, that Ghost Recon. Now, Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint are really cool games. I still have Breakpoint. I haven't beat it yet because it's like Red Dead. So much to do.
I did not
Come
enjoy those games.
on. Come on. It's too much. Too much to do. But the point of what I'm saying is the original Ghost Recon was much better.
Agreed. I
Right?
enjoyed it.
And
Did not
what they
enjoy
did to it
Wildlands.
was like, do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, stop. Just stop. Just stop. Like
You got this
it gets
man
to a
begging
point.
out here.
Yeah, it gets to a point where you're doing these remakes just because you're trying to get money out of my pocket, and that's really what I'm trying to say. Like I my point swayed a little bit, and I agree with you, Kasuna. Like if the game is worth remaking, yeah, remake the game.
Hmm.
Remake the game.
I,
If worth
I don't,
remaking,
yeah, I don't know if I'm more into remasters or remakes now, because now that we defined it a little better, I'm struggling to see where I'm trying to sit here,
right?
because I don't want them to change anything in the Legacy of Kain games. I want those to stay the same.
So you want to remaster?
I just want to play it. Like I just want to be
Just
able to press play and it functions really smoothly. I'm getting max frames. I don't have to look at PS1 era graphics. It's just a great
yeah.
game over.
So,
But at
so
the
you're
same,
looking at a remaster then.
yeah,
You know, but me, I'm talking about the remakes, the remake, the taking the old IP and trying to refresh it real quick and make it something else or
that's why
something
Final
else like
Fantasy
it,
VII
or
killed it.
making it
Final Fantasy
like,
VII was amazing. I'm
bro.
a huge fan, and I loved what they did with that. I'm scared, but I loved it. I liked it was new. They changed it up, and then they played with the players' expectations. Like we know we know what you've been asking for. You've been asking for it for almost 20 plus years.
Sure,
And
sure.
we gave you
Sure.
a taste of that, but here's this. It's a completely
Right.
different thing with the same IP, but a completely different battle system, completely different story. We don't even know what the outcome's gonna be. Shoot, we only played if you played the original game, you would have already been out of Midgar by now, but still haven't got out of that place. And I'm like, yo, this game is huge for what it's
Right.
doing. So man, I'm struggling to see where my position is. I'm all for remakes and remasters. I'm still for that, but I can see
Yeah.
your point though. I understand your point. Not all of it needs to be.
Overused,
It is.
unnecessary, and that's the whole thing. Like it needs to stop. Or at least be slowed down. Look, we got Ghost of Tsushima in 2020, then we got Ghost of Tsushima director's cut in 2021.
Director's cut is
Get out of my
fantastic.
pocket.
Sorry, I like
Get out of
director's
my
cut.
pocket.
Director's cut
Get
was
out of my
fantastic.
pockets.
Yo, I'm
Get
sipping
out
so
of
hard.
my pockets.
Oh my god, I feel like such a goddamn weeb doing this, but hell, I love Ghost
Get
of
out
Tsushima
of my
director's cut.
pockets.
Oh,
Please. Get out of my pockets,
damn, you're going
man.
after everything I love, so it's like I agree with you,
I'm
but you're
just
picking my
saying.
favorite shit. I
We
love
got
Ghost,
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 coming out in October.
which
Get
is weird.
out of my pockets.
They already remade that game. I feel like didn't they? No. They remade Modern Warfare. You know,
This
I
game
can't
needs
keep
to
up
be
with Call of
remade.
Duty. I'm gonna be honest. I protested Call of Duty and never said I was never gonna buy another Call of Duty game. After Modern Warfare 3, I was like, I'm never doing this again. And all the way up until Cold War, I never bought a Call of Duty game.
Last on my list of things I want to stop seeing:
Mm,
battle royales.
I don't
Do
disagree
we
here.
really
I agree
need
with you.
more battle royales?
Nope.
Do we?
Nope. When you God, I hate. Here's the thing: if you find one battle royale, just one that you like, you can
You
just
find
play
all.
that one, and you're good. No other battle
he
royale is
put
gonna hit the
on.
same or the way you want it to. If you like
No,
Apex Legends, you could just play that. You don't have to
right,
look for another one. You can just
right,
enjoy that. If you like
absolutely.
PUBG, you can just play that. I I remember the battle royale flooding we had to suffer
Mm.
through, and I was kind of
Oh
like,
my gosh. Oh my
that felt
gosh.
like gaming got stagnant so quick. Like
Yeah,
every industry wanted to create a battle royale, and I was like, is this it? Y'all
yeah,
y'all jumping on this idea? Ugh,
yeah,
that was the one
yeah.
time the industry needed like story, like single player stories bad because the market
Oh
was
my,
flooded.
oh my. It was so ridiculous,
So,
bro. Bro, come on. If you look at all the battle royales, like we can undoubtedly just consistently name a ton of them, right?
which
The
is weird.
Z1 battle royale, the Culling, PUBG, Fortnite, Garena, Free Fire, Survive.io, Rules of Survival, Knives Out, Path of Exile, Realm Royale, Totally Accurate
I
Battlegrounds,
actually like
Wreck
totally
Royale.
totally accurate was the only one where they're like, yeah, we're memeing here. Don't even take it seriously.
Come on, Ring of Elysium, Battle Right Royale, Blackout, Cyber Hunter, Danger Zone, Apex, Firestorm. Stop, stop, stop,
But just too
stop,
much.
stop, 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 stop.
Here's what I think the NFT crowd could benefit from. I don't like NFTs. I don't believe in NFTs. But the only game that could work with NFTs would have to be the Ultimate Battle Royale, where they just take every Battle Royale out there, create one giant game, and there you go. Y'all can play
Ready
in that.
Player One.
That's your place. You have that.
Yeah,
And then you leave
yeah.
us, you leave the rest of us alone. I'm done seeing another battle royale. If we're like,
No.
oh, we're adding battle royales to our game, I'm gonna be like, why? What did
Yes.
you benefit from this?
Yes.
Why did you waste developer resources to make this? It was so
Just
unnecessary.
stop. Stop. We have to, guys. Seriously, we have to stop this.
We gotta stop rewarding it too. Stop spending your money on
That's
battle
the other
royales.
part. Stop. Stop. Stop buying.
Just
You have buying power. Stop.
use that to
Stop.
drown. Let your voice be heard through your wallet. If capital
Yes.
is king, stop throwing your king into that pit. It ain't the one you want to
Please.
die on. This hill ain't it. And
This is
here's the thing: if you
ridiculous.
are a hardcore battle royale player, that is your game, you live and die for that. I'm happy for you, but don't flood the market with it. It
Oh,
stops being special once everyone has it. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, yeah. Started with PUBG, then with the Fortnite, then Apex. Like, stop. Like, when are we gonna stop? When are we gonna be like, all right, listen, we're wave riding way too hard here. And guess what? The wave broke, right? It crashed, and now everybody's trying to run back to single player real quick. It's like, I wonder why. Like,
Weird.
stop.
It's weird.
You know?
Like,
And yeah,
I like that you tried it. I like that you made your own battle royale, but you didn't need it. You could have
yeah, no,
wasted that time on something else, but you let the money get into your eye and you forgot for a
no,
moment. You could have made something better. While everybody was
no,
running this way, you could have ran the other way and you would have been
right,
a trendsetter, but it's fine. You followed the latest trend. I ain't mad at you,
right.
but I agree with you. That's the thing I'm tired of seeing also.
And
No
as
more.
your doctor, I'm here to tell you that I'm prescribing you 55 milligrams of Boy Stop.
Boy, stop.
Stop it. You stop it right now. Okay? I'm
55.
talking to you right now with that battle royale in development. You stop it right now. You turn that game into something else.
I know what you're
You can
looking at.
still do
You're
it.
looking at all that code. I see it. I see it. Don't delete it.
Okay.
Just transform it into something else.
Oh,
We ain't playing no more
okay.
battle royales. In our Lord's year of 2022, we are not playing any more battle royales. We are done. We've had our time. We've suffered enough. Give us a different
Okay.
experience. Because,
Oh,
like the name of the game, players first. We trying to be players. We trying to play games, but
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
tired of
yeah.
playing this game. And plus, battle
Yeah.
royales. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's one of the most luck-based games I've ever had to play. If you drop in the wrong spot, even if you strategic as all
Base.
hell,
Oh,
there's
oh,
no,
no, no,
there's
no,
nothing
no, no,
there.
no.
I'm done. I have got clap
You
out
know
of it.
what? You know what? You know what? You're right. You're right. I'll give you that because there is the randomness of the drops,
And if you
the
can't get
loot
any
that you
good loot,
find. Yeah, it is. Yeah, right. You're right. It is. There is randomness there. You're right.
and that
I give you that.
randomness be killing me. Because
Yeah.
one map, oh, I dropped here, found a bunch of good stuff, dominated, left happy. dropped in the
Yeah.
same spot the next game, got
Got a
wiped.
helmet and one grenade.
And you had to survive for like 20 minutes with that.
To come back into a more positive stuff. Kasuna,
Yup.
what's some stuff? What's some stuff that you would like to see more of in video games in terms of design choices?
Okay, so a design choice that I really have to admit has developed in a positive trend as of recently, are, even though I was talking shit about them earlier, battle passes.
Uh-oh.
Halo's battle pass, as much
Can we take a pause right here? This guy is the most wishy-washy.
I know. If you do it well, I will support it. If you fuck up, you get to mess up once with me. You mess up once, I'm
So
out.
was your beef? Your beef is just that it wasn't done well,
It's mostly
or when it's not done well.
when it's like, if you like, the difference between a season pass and a battle royale is season pass costs way more than a battle pass. Like a battle pass,
Okay.
I will never justify paying more than $10 for a battle pass. But if you're giving out a free battle pass that people can have, like, openly, this is free, you get it with the game anyways, and we'll just play the game and we'll reward you for playing. Love that. And if you pay into a battle pass, because I understand you're still a business and you need to make money, if you pay into the battle pass, we'll give you even more stuff. We're not limiting your stuff, we're just doubling down on the stuff you can get. Now, I'm not the fan of, oh, buy levels into battle pass. Kind of kills the point. Like, I just shouldn't have to buy levels. Just allow me to play the game. Just, the game is the way you progress it. That's where I like. But after what I saw with the Halos Battle Pass, where it was like, oh, Battle Pass is completely free. It's on here forever, so it's not gonna ever fall out. So play at your own pace, get this stuff as you play. Love that. That puts the responsibility of progression on the player and not the player's time. Like, oh, I'm working 40 plus hours a week. I got only an hour or two to myself, maybe at that week. I'm happy that I can take my time to actually fulfill this. If I'm like a kid, I just hit summertime and I got hours, I can grind that out.
I
Fantastic.
can run through that. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm never
Absolutely.
gonna be that level again. So I would like,
Right.
so that kid who's like knocking out 50 hours of gameplay a week, he's not, yeah, he's beating me in the battle pass stuff, but he's not better than me in the game. So
Right.
there's no advantage there. There's no clear advantage. It's just, you might look a little better for a little bit. I'll eventually catch up, but that's fine. That's a good design decision that I'm starting to see that I'm loving. Like, I like
Absolutely.
that. But that's me.
Absolutely.
What about you? Any changes that you like?
Um.
Older,
So me,
new?
yeah, I'm gonna reach back. To what I like to call the golden era, right?
Oh,
Something
Xbox
like
360 era? I feel you. Yeah.
80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Oof.
Um, we'll stretch it about 2010, but I'd like to see leaderboards brought back into games.
Ooh. I haven't seen a
I miss
leaderboard in a
that.
while.
Yeah, I miss that from games like SOCOM, or even more broadly, like the arcade games in general. Your Mortal Kombat's, your Marvel versus Capcoms, your Street Fighters, your um, you know, these games. I think what made them the most interesting is that you play, you get your score, and then your score is recorded and it's kept somewhere where the data is compared against other players. So for like SOCOM, you would know what number you ranked in the world against others. So it's like you might be number 64,000 or you might be number 300, and the difference in those numbers meant something to you because those were like visual representations
Years two.
of your game time, your grind, the hours you spend. Because unless you cheated, you're not going to be in the top 500 very easily, right? You have to have an incredible KD, which means that you're playing very tactically or cheesy.
Jesus
You know
win.
your map.
I
You
am a
know your
cheeser
maps,
so hard. I would cheese a
or you've
character.
been camping.
Hey, mind your business. Just keep running around that map. Mind your business. Don't worry about me over here.
you know you know the proper weapons to use, or you keep the noob ones, you know
The way Call of
however
Duty doing it now, you can keep an old gun. Not a
however
fan of it.
you right, but however you do it, you had to put in work in order for you to be on this leaderboard in whatever space that you're in. And I miss that element. I miss the idea of competing against all these players and seeing where you stand with them, and the motivation to who's who, right? You come into that server, you come into matchmaking, and you're in the room with John D. Rockefeller, but he's like number 50 on the leaderboard. That win means more to you. You're
Oh
like,
yeah,
what,
if
this
you
kid's
knock him
trash.
down a peg or two, ooh,
Yeah, you
ooh,
know what I
that
mean?
power,
Like,
that ego
right,
trip.
right,
Imagine being
right.
number one on the leaderboard. You know what? Yeah, we might have to bring leaderboards back. Yo,
Yeah, man.
2023, year of the leaderboards. Make it happen,
Yeah,
industry. You got that. That's easy work.
yeah,
Because you know what?
yeah.
I don't see that up. I don't see why that shouldn't be a thing.
I think what happened was esports kind of took over, which is not bad. I'm a big esports fan,
I
so
like
I'm
esports.
not knocking esports. But I feel like
Go to two all the
a
way.
lot of that, yeah, a lot of that competitive stuff ended up being taken into that space. So now it's like documented on the esports websites or like in their like scoring ranking system, and it's no longer in the game. And I think that's a bad decision, because just because you didn't go to the tournament doesn't mean that you're not a competitive natured person. You may not want to put money on the line to go out to these tournaments, but when you're playing online, I'm 100% sure the majority of us are playing to win. And kind of get aggravated if we run across casual gamers, unless you are yourself a casual gamer. But if you're a hardcore gamer, you're not really trying to hang with the casuals too much, because you're trying to win, or at least lose working hard at it.
I was about to say I developed a new philosophy to how I play games now. Because I was
Yeah,
collecting so many L's, I was getting to the point where I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna have fun losing. And
right,
I generally started enjoying games. I think the competitiveness needs to come back into a broad term for everyone. Like make it
yeah,
a circus situation where everybody can fit in the tent. And just the top
right,
performers, they can still be at the top. They can still have their moment to shine, but let them do it in the esports arena. But let
right,
me still have my leaderboard on there, because imagine you are on top of the leaderboard, but you're not even a professional player. People would be
right,
like, "Yo, why aren't you
right,
there? Bro, run it," and you'd be like,
right,
"I could, but I don't want to petty my good hands playing with the
right,
peasants." I would be like, "Oh,
right.
king shit. Oh yes,
And imagine how many people are actually better than pro players that you see. They're just not out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm,
and they still deserve recognition within the community, which can be given to them by leaderboards. They don't have to go all the way to like a tournament or anything like that. Like,
okay." But now I got something I want to add into for a good decision that I think should be implemented a bit more. If we are gonna add leaderboards, that's gonna invite cheaters. And cheaters, as much as this is gonna hurt a lot of people to hear, cheaters deserve to play the game just as much as everyone else, but they don't have to ruin everyone else's game. So if you are caught cheating in a video game, I think you should be forced to go into your own server with other cheaters. I feel like that's a decision that should be
Grand Theft
made,
Auto's good. Yeah,
because if you're gonna cheat, you're playing the game for a different reason, and
right,
that's a valid enough reason for you, but you don't have the right to ruin it for everyone. So you get to
right,
be put into your own little corner with the same people with your same mentality, same attitude, and all
right.
that, and then you can just play with your people. That is a decision I would love to see happen
Play
more.
with your same people.
No, 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 no. Don't come over here ruining it for because you had a bad game
Right,
and you decided to start
right.
cheating. You go over there in the corner and you brood and be the person you want to be over there. I know some people who
Absolutely.
do enjoy cheating in a game, not because they they think they're better than people, but they just need to feel like they're good. And you know what? Fine.
I want to have fun modding stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like,
do that
just
in
have
your own
individual
corner.
level design and stuff. Like, yeah,
Just do that in
absolutely.
your own corner with the rest of the people. Just don't ruin it for everyone. Like if you're playing
Right.
Call of Duty and you can see every person on the map, that's not fair. It's not fair. Like you don't get to have that ability
Oh
unless
my God. Yeah.
everybody can see everybody on the map. Then
Right.
then it's not a big deal. So if you're caught
Yeah.
cheating, and I don't mean like for a little bit of time or like for a moment, it's a permanent situation. You get caught cheating, that account goes on a cheating server permanently. So if you want to come back and play with everyone else, you can't just bring your stats back over. You have to start over at the bottom with a new account, with a new everything, because you played that game, bro. You got to go in there. And I believe that's a good design decision because it doesn't punish you by not letting you play the game you paid for, but it doesn't let you ruin it for everyone else, personally. And I
Yeah.
don't think anybody would
And
fight that too much. unless you're a cheater and you just really need to cheat in public. Then at
Nah,
that case, I don't even know what to say with you. You're a different
and
creature.
it's already been implemented, right? Like some, you can see some of this and just to pat you in the back again, Rockstar, because I kind of went a little hard at you than in this last this segment before. But yeah, I know that Grand Theft Auto 5 does that. If you're like a bad player, or bad being like you're doing negative things in the server, or that may include cheating or just being
Griefing.
a regular knucklehead, you know, then you end up in a server with all of the players that are cheaters, modders, and bad players. So that's something that I have seen implemented there. So I think that's a good idea. I agree with you. It's like the Rick and Morty episode where
with the Jerry play like daycare. I knew exactly what you're talking about.
No. Was it that? No. But it's the one where Rick takes Jerry on an adventure because Morty asked him to, and
Oh,
they go to the place where nobody can die,
yep.
and then the
That
dude tries
little,
to kill him.
yeah.
So in the end, when they have to go back, on the ship, and they neutralize Rick, and so they make him like pretty much super
Stupid.
slow, so he can't be violent. And the dude's like, everyone should fly, right? If not, the terrorists win. And it's like that same idea where it's like, yeah, everyone should play. If not, the cheaters win. If then you just shut down the game, right? So it's like let them play. Like give them their own server. I think that makes sense.
I went completely
yeah.
Rick and Morty reference, and just to let you know, I'm a huge fan of Rick and Morty. Also, don't
Absolutely, super huge, super huge.
I got that huge IQ, so the show really works for me. So I understood it. I got the joke.
Super huge. Shout out to Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon. Thank you guys for making an amazing show.
Waiting for the next season, but waiting patiently. Don't worry.
Shout out to Squanch Games because I think they have a new game that's coming out, that new FPS.
Everyone looks yo, I was looking at that, and I don't know if you ever played this game before called Oddworld Stranger, where your ammo was alive and stuff. You're like this bounty hunter, and the ammo you picked up was legitly creatures that you shot at people, and it was a great game. And seeing that again, I was like, yo, Squanch Games is tapping into like,
yeah. They're about to shake stuff up. They're definitely gonna do something new and fresh. Shout out to them. Thank you for taking a risk. And that's something that they've done well. And I look forward to what's gonna come from them. I think linear stories is something that I'd like to see more of moving forward.
I'm always a fan of linear stories. Like if you create a game and it has a start, middle, and end, I'm about it 100%.
Yeah. We can see this in like Halo. We can go back to Mega Man. Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas. Like
any game without a live service. I'm just saying.
yeah, it's crazy because multiplayer is a good thing. It could have went in that overused list. That live, everybody connects to everyone thing. It was kind of ridiculous.
It takes a special team to make a good live service game, and even if you make a good one, it's still kind of bad. Honestly, like even your fan base has issues with it. Shout out to Destiny. Like y'all guys, like I know a few live service games that I could truly say have done well. And if you ask their community if it's good, they'll be like, it's good, but it's not perfect. And I think my whole aspect of live services broke after what was it? Crystal Dynamic made that Marvel's Avenger one. And I was like, y'all had a golden child and y'all turned it into a live service. You're on the peak of Marvel cinematics. I turned it into a live service except for like its own game. Ah man, that was a ball dropped. Live service games just it's trying to get that myth of unlimited money. And I don't think I think we need to move out of that. Unlimited growth doesn't exist, and we have to accept that.
And we'll touch on that some more because later on in a later segment, I do bring that up. And I want to kind of go back and forth on that a little bit because the con is what you said. The pro is that it also helps to keep the game alive because a lot of times the game is trash. So they add these components to try to keep the game.
I'm trying to think of a live service game that's trash that's still alive. Like If the game's trash, it's going to die, whether you like it or not.
Red Dead Redemption 2 online is still living.
Yeah, but that's a good point. But it's dying because Rockstar is choking it. If Rockstar just for a moment, added something into the game that would just revitalize it. More story missions. I don't know. No more like no more roles. I'm done doing roles. Just give me land to work. Do something in the game where I can do something other than just an unlimited amount of the same missions I did like 20 hours ago.
Okay. I just want to say as a disclaimer, I love you, Rockstar and Take Two Interactive. I'm personally not coming at you specifically because
I am. I am.
right because of
I'm coming for
any
you.
personal grievance. This is all constructive criticism.
Straight
We love what you
criticism from me.
do.
I'm mad. I'm angry.
Keep doing what you do. Keep
You
pioneering.
can't give me this
Make
game I love and then keep teasing me with it.
if you remake or remaster anything, make sure it's Bully and stop playing around because we need that.
Facts.
Or just make Bully 2.
Just do it.
Matter of fact,
Stop playing.
just do a Bully 2 and stop playing. That if you want to do that. But yeah, you know, you're sucking Red Dead Redemption 2 dry, and it's dying as a game that as a live service could be as active as Grand Theft Auto. It could be, but you know, linear stories we need them back. You know,
and without the open world, I'm just gonna say it right now.
That was my next. Go ahead. That was my next. That was.
I'm done with open world games.
Please,
it's got
stop.
To the point where it's too much.
Stop.
Every game is an open world. Not a single one is a linear story. It's not a point A to point B. It's point A, point A, point 2, point A, point 3. Like it's not
right.
Come on.
You can get to B first and come back to A if you want, and go to D. Like, listen, just Halo me. You start your Master Chief. You're here, and put me in the role. What has happened to us? Where no seriously.
I know the answer. It's not it's not good.
Because what has happened to us that we've gotten to a point where we are no longer willing to like tell the stories anymore. And it's like, I understand we want to get the player more agency. I understand we want to, you know, create a game that can affect as many different player groups as possible. And we're trying to do the big and expansive thing. But come on.
You know, my whole thought process on that is players complained that the games weren't long enough. So they started adding open worlds into everything. So now these 20, 30 hour games just turn into 60, 40 hour games because the open world you can get lost in. And now we're stuck with every game is an open world. Ubisoft, I'm looking at you specifically. I understand. I don't even know if I can call what you make an open world anymore because there's so many icons flooding my screen at any given time. I'm just like,
okay, all right. Can you talk about like Assassin's
Creed, Far Cry,
gotcha.
It's all
yeah.
I'm just like, how do I say this? Icons remove it from an open world for me. Because if you have icons anywhere, that means I don't get to explore because I already know what's there. I should be able to explore, and that's where open worlds work for me. If I go into a location and I already know what's going to be there waiting for me, it's not an open world, it's a theme park. It's a theme park where this is what I'm expecting, and if I don't get this, I'm not supposed to be here anyways. That's why I think Ubisoft makes amazing theme park games, but horrible open world games. And anybody who claims that they're making an open world games should be careful using that word because not a lot of good.
You know, I think that it's a give and take situation, right? Because it's all about focus. And we spoke about that in episode 1, right? Like the game focus. And if you give me too much exploration and too much room to explore, then I'm going to get lost. And if I get lost, then I'm going to get frustrated. And if I get frustrated, then I'm not going to want to play anymore. So it's just like snowball effect that we're trying to prevent by giving you indications of where to go. And I think a non-open world game that does icons really well is like Hitman, especially the newer ones where
I love
you have the map. Right. And you have the map and there's nothing there, but then as you circle around and start to explore, you get like area discovered, and then you get icons so that you can now find this area again should you happen to need to get to that particular room at some point. So I mean, I think there's room for icons. Yeah, no tutorials or limited tutorials.
Ooh,
Like
I was talking
stop with the hand holding, man. Stop with
Oh,
the hand holding.
you
My
ain't
hands
handle?
being held too much, man. My hands being held too much. Listen, and I'm adverse to Dark Souls, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a player, as a designer, once again, I understand it. I love it. I think it's great. As a player, I don't like it. But I also don't like having my hand held to the point where it just feels crippling. And a lot of times the introductions to a lot of games are just like, oh, stand right here, go over here, do this, you know, and I miss like Sonic.
Yes, right.
I miss like Mega Man.
Jump shoot man,
I miss Star Fox.
bruh. Star
You
Fox.
know?
I think Star Fox could have benefited from a tutorial because I got lost in that so many
No,
times.
no, but you know what? And this is where Dark Souls gets it right. And I'll give it to you, and I'll shout out
Flowers.
FromSoft here. I'm gonna have to give them their flowers. The idea that this is my game, play it or you don't, is what no tutorial, limited tutorial, arcade style is all about.
Agreed.
This is Sonic. You run, you spin like a ball, you collect the coins, and if you bump into one of these guys, they're gonna knock the coins right out of you.
I got to
Okay,
introduce
this
you to
is
Bloodborne.
running,
That is a lot of that in Bloodborne. You might like
right?
Bloodborne.
This is super fast runner Mario is Sonic. Yes?
Max, you jump, you
So,
spin, you attack. Yeah.
okay, it's Mario with Usain Bolt sneakers, right? So it's like
Usain Bolt right now just woke up like somebody said something that kind of off, but
right? Right? Like literally. So, but you know, there's no tutorial. You just play,
yeah, right.
move, keep moving.
The game will teach
You
you
die, you come
based
back.
off of you learning how to play it.
Okay.
I
So,
agree with
and
you on
and
that.
I think that's missing. I think we're getting to a point where it's like, yo, come on, man. Hitman had a whole tutorial level. Like it's like, bro, get you must play this prerequisite before. No, I mustn't. I just put me in the game. Just put me in the game.
I'm with you on that one. I'm like trying to find a reason to fight back, but there really isn't because I agree. If you play
Yeah,
video games, you kind of have a general idea how certain things should play. If you're introducing a
absolutely,
mechanic I've never seen before, maybe introduce a tutorial. But if I'm
absolutely.
playing an FPS, I know what I'm supposed to do. If I'm playing a third person shooter, I know what I'm doing. An RPG, I get it. Like it's
Top down
self-explanatory.
side scroller. What we did, it's come on,
Yeah, so you know
come
what? I
on.
agree with you. Limited or no tutorial. I didn't think I was gonna. I thought I was gonna fight back on that, but nah, you're right. You got me. You got me before I could go
Uh,
for it.
no, and I mean that's pretty much it, man.
All right.
Those are the things I like to see more of. I think in the industry we're doing a lot of stuff that is good. The few things that are bad. So there wasn't very much to try to dig up to like, oh, you guys are not doing this because they are being done in one form or another. But these are just things that are like, yo, let's bring these things back. Um, that is it for my list. Did you have anything else you want to add, Kasuna?
I guess to end my list, I would say pretty much where I started. Give me the full game on day one. Just give me the full game. That's it. Like how I say I hate when you chop up a game to make DLC. Just give me the full game. That is good design. Like just decide designer choice. Just make sure the game is complete when I receive it. A complete experience is ready for me on day one. That's it. That's it. That is the final and biggest point. Good, full, complete point A to point B game. That's it. That's where I'm happy with.
Full disclaimer, we do understand that is not the designer's decision. This happens because of more than likely scope creep somewhere in the project
Fair.
production side of things where they needed to put something out in order to make sure that they were making money for the shareholders, and then they decided to make
Understand.
this decision to
But
put
I'm
out
going for
something
the
quickly.
throat. So all I
To,
want is a full
but
game on day one. So I don't really care. Go ahead. Give your
I,
shareholders what they
I,
want.
I still agree. I still agree with you 100%. I just want to put the full disclaimer. Though we understand that's not necessarily a design choice, it's just something that needs to happen in game
That's
development in
understandable.
general. Please give us our full game. We do want that.
If I'm giving you
Um,
the money, give me the game. That's it.
moving on to the next subject here. In your opinion,
Mhm.
which design trend do you think had the worst effect on user experience or the consumer's experience in the last, let's say, 10 years or so?
10 years, so that'll put us 2010. Okay. Horse armor. Horse armor was the worst decision Bethesda ever made because it opened up the floodgates to DLC and what DLC did to the community. Because horse armor, one way or another, leaded to loot boxes, and loot
Right,
boxes leaded into gambling, and then
right.
gambling leaded into the government at some point having to step in to regulate gaming. All because
Which they will.
Bethesda created horse armor. Mother, if anybody sat there and looked at this line, they would be like, how did it get here? And that the
Right,
fact that we got clear recorded history showing how we got here, horse armor
right,
really did it. And all that was
right.
just testing the waters, and I hated it. That was the
Mm-hmm,
design decision for me that ruined it for me because
mm-hmm.
it just allowed predatory behavior to happen. Should have nipped that in the bud immediately. But at the end of the day, I want to blame the companies, but I blame the players. Players are the players first reason this is happening
Mm-hmm.
because we allow it. They have to cater to us whether they like it or not. And if we don't want it, we don't have to participate. So please, as a gamer asking you, another gamer, stop rewarding this behavior. It's not doing us any favors. It's literally screwing us in the long term. Imagine where
Right.
we would have been right now if we just stopped with this stuff. But that's mine. What about you?
Yeah, and I agree with you. Except I'm not gonna blame Bethesda specifically because of their horse armor. That
I'm
and
I'm
everybody
I,
else gambling
I'm going for the smoke.
decisions.
I'm going for the
I
smoke.
think that's
I'm putting that on
crazy.
Bethesda's head. I'm putting
That's
that on Bethesda's
so
head.
crazy.
Hey, I'm not
That's
known
so
for making
crazy.
rational decisions. That one's my irrational anger is going on
Hey,
Bethesda.
and I believe in slippery slope and the snowball effect, but man, that's crazy.
Hey, I
Man, you're gonna
blame
blame them
Bethesda
for
for that
all of
one.
that. I, you know, I don't disagree with the whole DLC thing. I think the DLCs are good ideas. I think it needs to be refined more, and I think you know government regulations are definitely needed and will be implemented at
That's wild that we got to a
continuously
point where we
because
need that. We need
yeah,
Big Daddy government. Uncle Sam don't want to
yeah,
check out on his nephew, make sure he's all right. No, Uncle Sam's
yeah,
like he's
no,
playing video games. He's fine. He shouldn't have to
right,
worry. God,
right.
Bethesda, I'm putting this on you still. Take that out of me.
So, but so for mine, I go pay to win. That whole paywall, that the gambling. It's funny because we're talking about the same thing here, right? The DLC, but I'm talking specifically this whole pay to win thing.
Mm,
It's
hate
stop.
pay to win.
This is killed gaming. This is killed it.
Right?
This is killed it. This is
Facts.
killed it.
You speaking big facts right now. If you
This is
ever
killed
pay
it.
to win for a video game, I want you to go to sleep in shame tonight.
Yeah,
Lay there in your
shame.
bed and feel
Shame, and if I in post, we need to add the Game of Thrones shame bell real quick if we
shame.
can without getting copyright infringement.
Shame.
Because listen, oh my gosh, you sir and ma'am who have continued to pay to win, continued buying weapons so you could have better weapons than your opponent, continued buying attributes so you could be stronger as a character than other players. You have single-handedly almost killed almost killed
You
the
know,
player experience.
I think Rick Ross said it best. You weren't with me in the gym, bro. You paid
Like,
your way around it. I was in the gym. Where were you? I was putting in hours. Where were you? What, you had your wallet out, bro? You out here paying for your shame.
almost
Shame.
killed the
You know, you're right.
entire player experience, man. Like this paywall thing that just happens in every mobile game. This these cash grabbing from the microtransactions and the loot boxes that just that whole the I say pay to win, but I want to broaden that as I talk about it.
Oh,
The entire sphere of the monetization of game content has gotten completely out of control.
I think we both stepped on the same thing. We're tired of the monetization.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
monetization is it's just too obviously
yeah,
bad. Every other
yeah.
industry, we're talking movies, books, everything else can get away with something like this in a way because at the very least they're presenting you with something that isn't so overtly criminal. Like
Right,
if I'm paying for a movie and then I have to pay for part 2 of the movie at some later
right,
form, it's not gonna be like if I paid for Godfather 1 and then got Godfather 2 a year later, and I paid
right,
like 2 different prices, still an amazing movie experience. And then
right,
Godfather 3 drops, love that. But if I
right,
paid for Godfather the game, and then I found out I only got half of the goddamn movie, and then I gotta pay for
right,
Godfather 2, which isn't even
right,
following the continuity of see, that whole problem, I don't like that. It just feels
right,
criminal.
right,
It's
right,
just problematic. So it seems the
right.
biggest issue we have isn't
Yeah,
gaming, it's money. Our issue
yeah,
is money. The worst
yeah.
thing you did to our games is you forced
Yeah,
money into it. Shame.
yeah. You tried to monetize your content, and you tried to maximize your profit margins. In a situation where you didn't need to, you were raking money in hand over fist just by making good games, and that's
Right?
how you became these giants in the industry in the first place. It's like, come on, you don't need to do this. This is really just almost criminal at this point. So I think that as a trend, just monetization design, which is becoming a huge focus now, and monetization and esports, and that's becoming a huge, huge, huge focus now. And as we focus in that direction, I would hope that we would start being a bit more humane in our practices, and that there are some regulations that start coming down because it has gotten ridiculous. To continue, I
Mhm.
would say the best
Ooh.
design trend that I've seen as far as effect on the user experience is multiplayer inclusivity. Right?
Oh,
Going back to that thing that we were talking about earlier, I think playing with friends has always increased the amount of fun that we've had in games, right?
can
Like
agree.
multiplayer might have downright saved certain games that would be 100% boring without it. I'm looking at you, The Division. The Division is a boring game.
Yeah, unless you're playing with a friend, which is weird,
Man, I've never had more fun.
right? Like
The city seems more alive.
during the pandemic, I
Yeah,
made an amazing friend. Shout out to you, Ceci. Playing
yeah,
the Division 2. We had an
yeah,
amazing time. And then I tried
yeah.
playing it without him, and I was like, I got 10 minutes, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
No,
The game is just
no.
not fun without friends. They made a good game. It's horribly boring by itself because there's no story to really pull you in direction because you're roaming around a city. And when there
Doing
is a
nothing.
story, it's like not that long and engaging. And it's not a
Yes.
connected one either. I remember I was playing the game and I was at one point, and then somehow, some way, I'm fighting a whole different faction, and they're telling me these names like I know them, and I'm like, I just met these people. How am I supposed to know what's going on right now? And I'm like, all right, story's not
They're your
important.
best friends. They're your best friends.
Oh, but you know what? I agree with you on that one. Multiplayer
Yeah.
experiences are fantastic in a game.
Hell, Sea of Thieves is another example.
Ooh,
Although I don't think you can play Sea of Thieves without friends, right? But
you can play
it's
without it,
like,
but it's so much better with friends.
right? Like it's as far as I understand it, or as far as my experience, even it's like it's super hard trying to control the whole shit by yourself. Like
I mean, if you
it's
got
just
a big ass ship, yeah, you're not doing that by yourself. If you got yourself a
yeah,
little dinghy, you can do it alone. But again, that's a game that's socially way better. Now, I play it differently than most because people still play it like they're sitting behind a computer. I play it,
right.
I'm be like, I am the Dread Pirate Kasu. I go into full role play mode because I'm like, oh, I'm not just me behind a computer.
Do
I'm a
you
whole
really?
ass yes. You're going to sit if you play Sea of Thieves with me, you are going to get an experience because I'm a pirate and I'm gonna
He
play
said
it.
I'm the experience.
Yeah, you're gonna have a different game because you're gonna be like, all right, we need to go this way. I'd be like, point the ship onto eastward, scanner, ride
right,
the sails. I
right,
go full blown into it. And I love that.
right,
I love that the game gives
right.
me opportunity to live that. Because if we play in a pirate game, be the pirate. and I will talk to you like that the whole time until the game turns off, and then I'll come back to reality. Love social games like that.
But that's that, and that's the point. That social aspect, the inclusivity of it, the multiplayer. I think that's a really really good design choice that's been made. Moving in the last 10 years, and moving forward, and into this next year. We kind of spoke about it off camera before, but like the uncertainty behind Diablo 4
Oh yeah,
coming after Diablo Immortal, and that whole pay to win and the paywall thing. But I'm
yeah.
still excited for Diablo 4 because
I
I
was, but
because
I'm
of that
burnt.
social.
I'm burnt on
Now
it.
that
I'm scared. I'm scared because Blizzard isn't the star child it used to be anymore. Like they've taken their social credit and they stretched it. They really stretched it to the point where I'm like,
yeah,
I know the game might be good, might be fun, but I'm scared to see what kind of monetization is gonna be behind it. I'm scared to see if the game's even gonna be the same game I'm expecting. Like, what new thing are they gonna add that's gonna be behind a massive paywall? If I had to pay a down payment on a house to get a good character, am I expected to pay a house payment now? Like monthly to maintain my character? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not
you
sure I
got a
can do this.
mortgage in Diablo.
Got a mortgage for Diablo. That's bro,
Oh
that's
my
so scary.
god. No, but I'm still excited for it, man. I think the social aspects of it, if it hits the way that they've represented it, that's something that I'm excited for because of the multiplayer aspect, and like the giant world bosses that you have to fight with other players. I think that looks fun to me.
Does.
Starfield is another one I'm looking out for from Bethesda, that has some of those multiplayer elements in it. And to me, I think those are great design choices because playing with friends has always been a lot more fun. And once again, it has helped to keep some games alive that are just shouldn't be living still. Yeah.
Big facts. So for me, now I'm gonna take a hard left turn. I know we talking about best trends that have for user experience.
Mm.
I'm gonna say the best thing that I've noticed, design wise, not even necessarily design wise, but kind of like the after effect of a design decision, is toxic ass communities. I think toxic ass communities are the best thing I've ever experienced in any of my social games. Now, let me
What?
explain myself. Now, I judge a game and how well the game is based on how toxic the community is and how willingly I'm willing to keep playing that game if it's that
That's
toxic.
crazy.
For example, I love Dota. Dota 2 is my favorite MOBA of all times. It is
Oh my
one of the
god.
most toxic communities I've ever dealt with. But the game is so strong that I'm willing to deal with how toxic that community is.
I have no love for Dota whatsoever.
Play with me. Now, here's my thing. As toxic as that community is, I am seeing an active change in how toxic it was to what it is now. Like I started to become super positive because you get the best reaction out of your people you're playing with when you give them a bro job. They do better. If you're like, yo, dude, I know you died, but you did fantastic. Good setup. I was able to make a way. Appreciate that. And they're like, oh, you're not yelling at me for messing up? Yo, I'll keep playing better. Even if they're trash all the way up until the end of the game, positive response will get them to play better for the next game. And I'm starting to notice that in the game where the toxic community isn't as toxic. And I think design wise, Dota handled that way better than most because the other, what I'll call giant in this industry, is League of Legends, where if you're a toxic, horrible person, you get your account, you're not allowed to play the game for like a few days. And that's the way to, like, that level of punishment doesn't benefit anybody because now when I come back, I'm going to double down on how horrible I was. But in Dota, you get to go to low priority. Low priority is a different level of fun. You don't get as much freedom as you normally do, but you still have fun. You're just like,
Right.
oh, I have 170 plus characters I can pick from, but you're only limiting me down to 3. And I can
Right.
only play like this for the next 3 games. So that means I'm forced to participate with the worst type of people to get out of this place. And I'm going to play a little better, be a little less toxic, just so I don't ever have to come back here. Unless
Right.
you were like me in the middle of 2015 to 2017, where you low key love low priority because it was hella fun. You and the boys would be toxic as hell, get thrown in there, have a good time getting out. But that's my thing. The design choice that I like is punishing players in the correct way where it limits how toxic your community is, which toxic community is fun because boy, I said some wild things on Dota that if I heard myself say it today, I would probably be concerned. But fun times, good memories.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
that's my pick. It's out of left field,
I
but it's mine.
So just to wrap up, like advice for aspiring devs and students on design trends and advice to the industry on design trends, I would say don't even follow them.
Oh,
Just don't even. Just do your own thing. Come up with your own game. Sit down. Go through the whole process. Make it from scratch. Yeah, borrow from others, and yeah, mix and match different mechanics that make sense, and yeah, do the research and your competitive analysis. And yeah, make sure you know if there's somebody in the space doing the same thing that you're trying to do, and of course, you don't want to reinvent the wheel and all of these different things. Absolutely, but that don't mean you got to follow every design trend that's going on and what's current.
agreed.
Like you don't have to. You can do your own thing. You don't have to make the next battle royale because that's what everyone else is making. You don't have to, remake whatever game that you already made. You don't have to cram random mechanics that don't need to be in your game into your game because that's what's hot right now, like crafting.
Still
And
like
you
crafting.
definitely
Still haven't figured out what to add to Prince of Persia. Still thinking about that. That question has me fucked up. I can't think about it. It's killing me.
Oh my God. And you don't have to rely on predatory practices
Yes.
like sneaking gambling mechanics into your video games. You don't have to. You can make your own thing and you can really, really, really service the community better by trying your best to create something that's your own and that's unique, that's your vision, flavored and styled by you, and something we can't get from anyone else. That's my advice.
Well, I'm gonna hop on what you said in a way where you don't have to follow people's trends, but if you want to, you should do something you want to do. Like if you're trying to create something, if you really truly want to do it, even if you think it's not gonna work, do it anyways. Because you're made stronger through your failures than you are through your victories. So try something new. Be creative. Try something that you want to do. Do you want to make a new battle royale? Even though the world is flooded with them, do it anyways because you
No,
want to.
don't.
If
No,
no, no, no,
no,
no, no, if they want to,
no,
I'm a man of passion.
no,
If you want to,
no.
I don't. I'm not gonna
No,
play it.
no,
I'm
no,
not gonna
no,
play
no.
it. But if you want to make that, more
Make
power to
something
you.
else.
Make something
Make
else.
a
Please do.
different game.
But if you really, really want to, I'm not gonna get in your way. I say have faith in your abilities, have faith in your skills, and make what you want. But if you do make a battle royale, even though you want to, do understand I'm not playing. I'm not touching that shit. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
me
done.
either.
I'm
You'll
not
be out there
touching
by yourself, and you will not get a review here.
it.
Okay,
I
and
ain't
then
gonna touch it.
it will be players last.
But that will be yours. That is yours. You can have that. And to the
Yeah,
industry, let me just say it like this. I'm a fan. Been a fan. But this is an abusive relationship. You are abusing me, and I'm still around, and you're making it hard to be around sometimes.
yeah.
Stop hitting me and stop robbing me and start treating me like the spouse I am. Love me again. Because god damn it, I still love you. And I'm willing to go to counseling. I'm willing to talk. Just stop expecting me to be there when you're making it hard to show out.
100%.
Bethesda. Oh wait, not Bethesda. Blizzard. Bethesda, you've been on a
Blizzard,
good track lately, so I'm liking you. But
Blizzard,
Blizzard, you're really hurting us again, and I'm tired. I'm tired. Just
Rockstar. Stop putting casinos in your game. That's ridiculous. That's just sick.
at the end of the day, we're all players. Just want to play the game, not trying to play my wallet. But that's it. That's my thing. Just let me love you again.
100%. Full disclaimer: we stand in support of domestic violence victims, and
Oh,
we are not making light of that
oh, I didn't
situation.
even think about that.
Um,
Oh,
but it is a very good metaphor to explain a one-sided relationship where you are 100% being taken advantage of because of your love for that person, or in this particular case, entity or that entity's IPs. Um, but this has been a really, really therapeutic moment for me. No, this has
Same.
been really fun. I definitely enjoy doing this podcast with you, bro. Like we definitely
Same.
touched on a lot of topics. Um, thank you everyone that stayed the full length. Everyone that
Oh, you guys are troopers, bro. You
yeah,
guys are super
definitely
troopers.
press play. Yeah, thank you to anyone that has been sharing on their different social media platforms. We still see you guys out there. Thank you to all our new subscribers, everyone that's been viewing. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe and share. Hit the notification bell and join the gang. Okay, as we literally march against the industry. No, I'm just
I was
kidding.
about to
But as
say,
players first, we literally.
I was about to say,
No,
I'm
I'm
down
just
for a
kidding.
revolution, but let me get
No,
in
I'm just,
first.
no, I'm just kidding. But as you know, as players first, we try to comment on the perspective of the player with a full understanding as actual, and active game designers. We love everyone that we critique. We have no hate for anyone. It's all in constructive criticism, and 100% in making the industry better. You know, so
I
that's
still want
that's
the
my
smoke. Don't get it wrong, though. Still want the smoke.
I mean, if it comes to that, but for the most part, what we're doing here is all in good fun, and of course in educating the consumer and other designers and inspiring devs. But with that being said, this has been the Players First podcast. I am Zebo, and I'm here with
My boy Kasuna.
yes, and we'll be back next week. Same time as we always are with some more interesting topics. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. You guys, please
Peace.
tip your waitresses on the way out.